I'm Brooke Maree. I'm a baby wearing educator and a mother of two from Brisbane in Australia, and I'm going to be demonstrating today how to use the Leather Baby Co ring sling. So this is a linen ring sling and it can be used from 3.5 kilos up to 15 kilos. So I'll just go through it and show you how to set it up and some tips to make sure you get it nice and comfy and safe as well. We're just going to start by placing it over our shoulder. Now you can do any shoulder you like. Just think about what hip you'd like to carry your baby on. So if you prefer the left hip, then you're going to go the opposite shoulder. If you more carry them on the right hip, then you'll go the left. So I'm going to set it up here. Most people will have it on this side. Just put it in a nice spot, kind of just above the collarbone, around this area. You're going to find the edge of that wrap, making sure it's not twisted. So you've got the wrap in the one line, you haven't flipped it over. And then just holding it tightly, you're going to just gather this material. Now you don't have to do this every time, but this is just how you set it up. So you're holding that nice and firmly, and it's going to come through these rings here. So just make sure you keep the top on the top and the bottom on the bottom, and just bring that through those rings. Okay. Again, making sure it's all in the one line, you haven't twisted anything over. You're then going to open this up here and thread it back through. So thread it back through, and then it's flipped over like that. It's nice and secure. So just get it into a comfy spot again. And now what we're going to do is we're going to place our thumb underneath the material here, and just make sure that it's not bunched up or gathered and it's not twisted. And then we're going to work through and make sure that the bottom stays on the bottom. And then guide your thumb through, and just moving that material over it. Make sure the top is on the top, and the top's the most important one, so really make sure that's not twisted up. Take your time. You don't have to do this every time, but when you do it, make sure you do it properly. Okay, and then just guide it back through. Once it's all through, it should be sitting nice and flat here along the rings. Nice and flat, top rail at the top and bottom at the bottom. Okay, then readjust again, put those rings back where you want them. And we kind of want them to end up about here. So I actually like to move it higher before baby comes in, because then once we put baby in, it'll move down a little bit. And then around your hip is a good guesstimate of where you want the tightness of the material to be. So if you've got a really little baby newborn, you might have it a little bit above your hip, and with an older child, you might have it a little bit below. But just take a guess, and then you'll get to know your body and your baby and where suits you. Okay, so I'm ready to grab my baby now. Okay, so grab your baby now and just take your time settling them. So you can bop a little bit and just calm them down. There's no need to rush. So just take your time. Okay, what we're going to do now is bring them over to one shoulder, so the opposite one. Okay, holding their head for support if they're really little, keeping a hand on them at all times. So holding them about here nice and firmly. Grab your other hand, it's going to come up the material, find their legs, and just gently guide them through. So just ever so gently moving baby down. Okay. If the rings have moved a bit too much, you can kind of push baby's weight up and just move them up and move the material. Right, so you're just going to let baby sit onto this material now. They're basically sitting knee to knee on it, holding their head for support. Then you're going to find your thumb and find that top rail, and then bring it over their bottom. So it just comes over their bottom and straight up their back. I like to bring it a little bit higher than their neck for little babies. We want the fabric smooth across the back, so we're keeping a hold of them because they're not sitting on a seat yet, so one hand at all times. Come up baby's leg and find the rest of that material that's bunched up, and you're just bringing it up between you both. Also focusing on having it wide, so knee to knee, so on each side you're bringing that from one knee all the way over to the other. Now we're going to tighten, so the top rail should have the most slack. You're going to get it from behind, bring it over to the rings. If this feels a bit high on your neck, you can adjust this now and move it before you tighten it, but it should be pretty good. over to the rings, find that material, and we're not going to pull down and away, you're going to pull it back towards the material. So you're pulling it like that and it'll just move through the rings. And if it's a bit stiff, you can hold baby's bottom to lift up some of that weight and move it through. Okay, and that's pretty good there. And then you just work through the rest of the wrap. Now, because you started quite tight on the hip, you shouldn't actually have to do much work. Most of it will be in the top. But just see how it feels and move a little bit through, always going back towards the material, not down. And then the bottom rail will need a little bit as well. And that's pretty much it. So that's in a nice spot there. It's nicely spread across my shoulder and then along my back. And then baby should be sitting knee to knee, nice curved spine, and resting there on your chest. So just slightly off center is really good. You can set it up to be completely center, and then when baby's a bit older, it can be all the way on your hip. Otherwise, off center is really good for all ages. You've got the rest of the material here that you can just leave. Otherwise you can, but don't pull on it too hard. You can always use it as a bit of a headrest for baby, but you want to make sure you're not compromising any of that here. So don't pull it too tight. You can use it as a bit of a shade, but make sure you can see baby at all times and it doesn't block any airways. Or you can also just kind of thread it through these rings. So come through the rings, again, not pulling it too tight. And you just kind of can get the material over it so it's covering those rings, and it just takes up a bit more of the material so it's not as long. And that's that.